Hey everybody, this is a little update video to the red light camera teardown that I did not too long ago. When I did that, I didn't really concentrate much on the camera assembly. That's basically because I figured I'd do it for a separate video anyway. That's what we're going to have a look at in this video. See more about the camera, the data recorder bit, and this assembly on the front here. See what it's all about. Right, so if we just take a quick look around what we've got here. Between the sides of the metal frame we have a separate frame that the camera is actually attached to. Now, this has an adjustable tilt on it, obviously for changing the camera angle for when it's installed. These are just set with a couple of hex bolts on the side here. On the front of the camera we've got this unit here. This operates the iris control. It seems to be pretty much independent from the rest of it. It's just a motorized device which clips to the front of the lens. I'll show you that working in a moment. Then we've got the camera, and then underneath the camera we've got the data recording unit. So on the front, as I said, we've got this box here which controls the iris. As I said, this seems to be pretty much independent. There's a small light sensor here which just allows the motor drive to operate the iris. So if I put my torch over this, you can see it closing down, and then you can see there's also a corresponding iris actually inside the sensor there. So obviously this would be working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Obviously at night it would be open anyway, but during the day this is going to be adjusting itself all the time. So there's obviously going to be quite a bit of wear on this whole assembly. I would imagine that's built pretty well. Now the actual camera unit seems to come out pretty easily. It's just this release knob here, so you just flip this up and then the camera comes out. And you can see just inside there we've got a drive gear, so there's obviously going to be a little motor or something in here. Then round the back we've got an ISO adjustment settings here, so obviously depending on the speed of the film you're going to need to control the iris. So that's currently set at ISO 200 at the moment, and we can just see here as well the actual data recording device. This is the part that generates the text which is imprinted onto the actual film. And here we have the camera. On the back it's made by Robot Motor Recorder 36DFP, and then we've got a serial number. We've got a reset button there as well. 12 volt indicated there that it's powered by. We've got some connections on the bottom here. These are labelled X, IA, plus, R and minus. This micro switch here, this is the end of film sensor. I'm not sure what peak demo unit means, no idea. Any guesses? On the front we've got a setting between 500th of a second shutter, or in that setting it's like a bulb, as it just stays open forever. So it's always set in the user guide. It says to make sure this is set to only 500. On the front of the lens we've got this plastic assembly, which is the drive for the iris. You can see it stopping down there. Now, this is actually free to turn past it stops. So if this is installed with it slightly out of sync, it sort of hits an end stop and then sort of finds its position. So that seems to be pretty well engineered. This lever here allows you to remove the lens, and conveniently also places a cover over the back of the shutter as well, or the front of the shutter I should say. we've got focus control here as well. Now on the base of this unit, we've got an extra window that you wouldn't normally see. Obviously, there's a slight coating on that, as anti-reflection coating as well. Now this is where the data, the images actually come up from the data recording unit and actually comes up and actually gets recorded onto the film. Now I have actually already been playing around with this a little bit just to see if I could try getting the camera shutter to work, but I've not had much success. But it does mean I have been and opened up a few of these parts, so I do know what's inside. Interestingly, when I came to take this apart the first time around, there was actually 2 missing screws. So it looks like somebody's obviously been in here before I had possession of this. So a voltage regulator here. This is a 7806 voltage regulator just under there. We've got a sliding switch assembly here, a small solenoid. Now this is attached to a little arm which opens another shutter on the window, so it only opens the shutter to this obviously when it's actually recording the data onto the actual film. The light path actually comes through here and then up to a small mirror just in this hole here, and that's where it actually comes out and is actually recorded onto the film as the film moves past. So the way this is going to work is the shutter will release, it'll take the picture of the offending vehicle, and then as the film is advanced onto the next frame, that's when this will write the image data onto the actual film. I've got some sample pictures from this kind of camera, which I'll just put up in the corner of the screen there. Now I would imagine that some of the sensors and items in here are going to be related to the timing of the image data being recorded to the film, because obviously you need it to be positioned in the right place just as the film starts to advance onto the next frame. So I would imagine some of this is going to be for that. I'm not quite sure what this reset button does. There doesn't seem to be much in there that needs a reset, but maybe there is some more items up in the top part of the camera here. I'm not really going to go that much deeper into this. Okay, so I'll just remove the data imaging device. It's just held in with these 2 bolts here. Right, here we've got the device that actually creates the text and image which is written onto the film. It's just a small plastic box with a couple of mounts on. Got a 25-way D connector, some ASA speed ratings here. I'm guessing that is for the brightness of the image that gets written. We've got a few contacts here which run through onto the camera. Camera sits. There's 2 small locating pins on the camera which just slot in. So it just sits like that on the bottom of the camera. The window on the bottom of the camera lines up with this small window here. Now, when I was actually trying to diagnose why I can't get the camera to trigger, I checked all these connections here. There's 12 volts appears on here, but nothing else. If I press the test buttons, nothing happens. I can't really see much else going on here, so maybe this is faulty and it's not triggering the camera or something, but I'm not really particularly inclined to go into too much detail with this because it's not like I'm really going to use it, just as long as I can get a general understanding of how these things work. So there's just 4 screws on the base here. I'll just take those out. So in here we've got 2 boards and a small third one there. Now this is the actual part that generates the the text display. It appears as though it's just an LED dot matrix. So this is sent this way up onto a mirror, which then bounces the light up into the camera. I've got some handwritten detail there, so it's obviously pretty low volume production on this. So you can see we've got the contacts which run to the camera. Got an EPROM just down in here. A whole bunch of wires. I mean, wow. Well, this seems to be assembled. So we've got the LED matrix display here on two pin headers on the two boards, and then we've got a pin header connecting the two. So I think if I pull these apart, we should then be able to separate it. So here's a close-up of the matrix display. Surprisingly, it's not two small little modules. It's actually a completely custom PCB with the actual LED diodes bonded directly onto the PCB. It's like a chip on board kind of affair. Now here in the top of the plastic we've got a small mirror arrangement. Looks like it's stuck in with hot glue. On the rest of the board we've got the display here at the end. Then we've got an EPROM which is titled script. So maybe that's just some bitmap for the actual characters that get displayed. Right, so that's the unit reassembled. I'm just going to install this back into the camera, and then I can actually show you the matrix actually working. Right, I've got this display module reconnected to the camera. It's just hanging out the front here, just to make it a bit easier to film. Now I'll just switch the unit on. There is a test mode that you can turn. There's a couple of test modes that you can set by programming it in a particular camera code. So if I do that, if I punch in 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1. You'll see on the display it's cycling through all of the characters in its character table. Now that's actually looking at the LED matrix, but obviously this will actually be reflected up into the window. Now obviously it wouldn't be displaying those characters statically like that when it actually comes to imprint the image onto the film, because it's moving. So you need to have some kind of persistence of vision type of effect, so the character is imprinted sequentially as the film moves. So if I put this into the other test mode, which is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, and there we can see now it's obviously displaying what it actually says is service test, but in the sort of persistence of vision mode that it would actually do as it's writing to the film. Right, I think that pretty much concludes the red light camera teardown. I hope you found this second part interesting. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you on the next video.